Hello there, folks, friends, people, subscribers. Yeah, thanks for your lovely comments and that. For me, it's that what I'm doing. It's like walking into dark places, and to see your little lights guides the way much more than you can know. Just a little compliment here and there, wonderful. Sometimes I think, how can I stay true to those comments? How can I talk to you on this camera about something that's filled with light and warmth? I think sometimes light is cold. It's cold light as well. There's and heat and warmth. If we was to use these as metaphors, of anger and love and things, a lot of the times my message comes from a place of anger on this channel. It comes from it's kind of, that's what gives me this connection and this conviction and courage to talk on a camera like this, and to be quite serious. A lot of people find it easy to come on camera and be jokey and try, to be a laugh, and then later on say, oh yeah, but I was just making a laugh. No, I'm being kind of serious, as serious as I can be with a camera, with this idea that you're all watching now, and I realise that you're, most of you, probably all of you, are kind of feeling something, and then you can't describe, and we give it names like the Matrix, or things like that, but we know that they're only just a tip of the iceberg of what we're feeling in our hearts about the system, about society, about our friends that are deluded, our family members that are deluded into an illusion that we can't explain. We can watch like a film like Alice in Wonderland, where Alice goes down the rabbit hole and sees a bottle and it says drink me, and she drinks the bottle and drink me, and then she sees a biscuit and it says eat me, and she eats the biscuit. And the question is, why would you ever drink a bottle that says drink me on it? Would you really obey that? And it's very clear and simple in Alice in Wonderland for the viewer to understand that fact. You would never just drink a bottle that says drink me on it. But at the same time, when it says do not, we see in our real world now, do not enter, or do not trespass, or do not do this. We follow those like as if we drink that, we eat the law. We eat what's on the outside world. We become it. We is it. We say this is this and that is that. And that what we is becomes what we are. We are what we is. We are what we eat. When we eat from that tree of judgment and say this is this and that is that, then we are eating. Eat. The words even correlate in a lot of languages. We become that, what we see. So it's this illusionary world that we wake up to ourselves to understand our own programming within us, and it's an embarrassing process to realise how foolish you were, how stupid you were to follow that stupid, dogmatic idea. But suddenly you've got a problem, because now you realise that your younger self from maybe yesterday or yesteryear is now everybody else, and now you're calling everybody else kind of a fool, or at least those who see that and the things the way you did. But then in your mind, I don't want to embarrass myself again because I only know half the story. I only got down the rabbit hole and saw the bottles of drink me, and the size is all of these concepts start to go crazy in you, but you can't explain to your friends, so you're left with an anger, a true, real anger. And we find ways of like calming that anger down, because we need to calm our minds, calm our bodies, calm our environments. There's other people in this world. The children don't need they don't need to witness and see all of the madness that we're going through. If it's half of its illusions, we can keep that within to look at the deception before we start shouting deception, deception, to find out what the nature of that deception is. So again, we don't cause any fear or unnecessary stare or ruin the atmosphere. But there's this anger that the world is a mess. So we turn to the spirituality. We maybe find some books about Buddha or Eckhart Tolle, and We meditate and we feel much better. We feel like we're connected. We feel like we're connected and we're feeling something. It feels like life. It feels like you've been there so many times, but you wasn't there consciously. You was just there in your like innocent state. You could witness it now, though. You could see it consciously, that you'd entered, you'd kind of stopped your world and felt the connection to it, to the source, or to something that gives you some kind of energy and takes away some kind of fear. And so then it gives you strength, and you start to look around you at what the problems are, and you see people in these illusions, suffering mostly at illusions, worries that go on for year after year after year. Then the people just forget about the worry and nothing ever changed. So if you could rewind 3 years and just not worry from the first place, it would have been good, wouldn't it? But we live in fear, and we pass each other's fears on, and we joke about each other and turn each other into comedy figures, so that we can have a laugh, so we can raise our spirits at the cost of each other's dignity. You know, the first human right is the dignity of man is inviolable. As Verda does mention, is unantastbar. But it seems like, you know, the dignity of man is below the illusion of government. But most of the people do not understand, because they were born into this system. We were all born into this system. We do not understand that it's led us away from ourselves. It's led us away from our true creation. It's led us away from seeing things naturally. You know, when we're asked who created you, oh, my parents. Who do you belong to? I belong to myself. You know, what about who's the parents of your parents' that go all the way back to the beginning? And were they just like apes who didn't think, and then your consciousness just came with you for the first time? No, you know, it's a part of a river. We're all a part of a big flow of a river. And, you know, this society, the media, it's tricking us to eat from this poisonous tree of judgment, to say this is this or that is that, to give things names, to associate things with labels, so that we can use divisive social labelling to ridicule and attack and popularise and pedestalize different people. You know, there's so many different languages and cultures and nations in this world, but we're only aware of our own little box. Go to another nation for half your life, speak their language, and then you'll see your old nation for an illusion. But we don't need to do that now. We don't need to move to another place. We can see it because the world's expanded. It's become global. Nationalism, this idea of having a little country of like-minded people who are going to protect that, is now just an old paradigm. That's an old-fashioned idea. That was just like the misunderstanding of ownership. Like anybody on this planet can actually own anything, really own. Things belong to you. Friends, maybe an animal, cat or a dog. The things that belong to you follow you when you walk. The things that you have to sit on to possess. You know, your possessions are only your possessions because they possess you. You possess your possessions. You get the trick. We're being fooled into putting our spirit into objects like money. You know, putting our energy into money and then passing it around like it's worth more than my energy in the first place. That's what's happened. You know, we're misusing language. You know, on different social networks, we're just using words to ridicule each other for a laugh, to raise spirits. But it's not raising spirits, it's killing spirits. It's killing people's courage, it's making people put themselves in boxes. You know, we stop using words as weapons and start to understand that the misuse of language has caused the fact that there's the wrong people in power. And then that misuse of language, we need to start to understand what words mean and be able to talk to each other without, you know, without this, I don't know, I'll just leave it there. Thanks a lot for watching anyway. I think you know what I'm talking about. But I can't lose the anger with this one, and I think maybe I need to talk more out of my anger. It's after all, it's I think it's I feel righteous to say some things out of anger. I don't think we can live in love and light. I don't think we can pass this idea around of all just being happy will solve the problem, because the deceitful people in the world use that. They use our innocence and our vulnerability and our good nature and our trust and our good faith. They misuse that and put on a grin and smile that's a false smile. False popularity, false numbers, false identity, false profits. Makes me angry. The medium makes me angry, and I can say really my battle is more with this medium, video and audio, broadcasting, with this medium in itself, because so many people have got on here and used it like some kind of playground. Now, when I was young, we was told that telephones and like messages were for emergency, or if you hadn't talking to a long lost loved one for a long time, somebody you haven't seen for a long time, then you can talk to them. But it's an emergency. It's not for like ridiculing people at distance and stuff. But obviously things have changed now. So I'll shut up anyway. All right, thanks a lot. Cheerio.